everybody, it's Jeff Hopper, and I'm back with Jeffrey Cranford.
Right here in my office, whether you're aware of it or not. We can't even get in our studio still, so we're in my office. But it's good to be back together.
At least there's somewhere where we can be together. So last time we talked about the ubiquity of trouble, how you find trouble everywhere, and it was a little bit of a downer.
A little bit of a Debbie Downer for you SNL people.
Yeah, so I think as we go forward, we'll be able to find how trouble can create good things or bad things in us. And it depends a lot on our response and our perspective. And today we're going to talk about perspective. Jeff, when golfers, I mean, you've watched a lot of golfers at lots of levels of play. Give me some examples of times you've seen golfers lose perspective along the way.
It's so easy to happen. So I want to break it down in two. The professional level, although there's overlap, but the professional level, you don't realize how challenging it is to be playing in an event, especially a worldwide covered event, major championship, major PGA Tour event, where everybody in the world every week opens, because they may be your friend, and they see your score. How would you like it if every day you went to the office, you got a score that was broadcast? I mean, corporations go through quarterly reports and things, but daily, what your score was. And so it's so easy to lose perspective as it relates to my score is me, right? Bad score, bad person. Bad score, failure. Bad score. Good score, amazing guy, celebrity, popular. And one of the things we've seen, especially on the PGA Tour Bible study through the years, is that guys fight constantly to not wrap their identity up in their score.
Right.
Then secondly, I'd say at the amateur level, and I'm just use this one example, but a loss of perspective is when you see people start padding their handicap and they're negotiating their handicap because they always have to win. They've got to be the ones, we call them sandbaggers, always have to be the ones that win all the tournaments. They lose but it goes back to the same thing. They want to win, they won in corporate America, they won, and now they're going to win at the club level, and it's a complete loss of perspective of the very purpose for which they're out there, as if having a trophy on their deal makes any difference at all.
Yeah. One of the people in Scripture who really dealt with this losing a perspective or the possibility of losing perspective was Job. Talk about trouble. Yeah. I mean, this guy just has trouble heaped on him, and he has to back up and look at his life. And he has some friends who try to help him look at it, and God comes in and helps him look at it. And one of the things that, is part of that is, well, wait a minute. Go back to the beginning. Where did you even come from, man?
Right.
What right do you have to say, well, I should have this, and I can expect that?
Right.
And these things that in golf, in life, we have to have a method, a strategy for getting the right perspective when things are going way bad.
Absolutely right.
It's totally wrong. So what are some things that you've done to say, I got to secure my perspective in what I know to be true?
Well, it goes, Jeff, it actually goes back a little bit to what we talked about last week, which was fundamentals. Mm-hmm. So your theology is important. People say, I'm not a theologian. Everybody's a theologian. Right. Everybody has their views of God.
Right.
And so when we look at that and we go, well, wait a minute, are my fundamentals in place? Do I have a biblical worldview? Do I understand what God says about trouble? Obviously, Job was as discouraged as you can possibly get. I mean, he says in Job 3:11, he goes, I wish I would have just died at birth.
Yeah.
But as God began to train him in the proper theology, two things occur. Proper theology leads you to an understanding that you're either going to be conformed to the image of Jesus through struggle, or in some ways, actually Paul told Timothy, those who desire a godly life will be persecuted, will come into some trouble. So solid theology expects trouble, but also expects God to do things through it. Can you imagine Job as he's going through these struggles, as his wife is cursing him and telling him to curse God and die, as all things occur, that there would literally be millions upon millions of people that would benefit from what he's going through.
Right.
We're still talking about it today.
That's right.
We're 3,000 years removed.
Oldest book in the Bible,
yeah,
they say.
Plus from Job. And And we're still talking about it. Now, the flip side of that would be bad fundamentals. You get nervous, like Bryce Mulder said last week. When you get nervous, good fundamentals hold up, bad fundamentals tend not to. When you get nervous, when you're immature, when you don't know the word, then you say, well, where's God in this? Why is this happening to me? And it's a lot of that. There must, and you just lose your sense of perspective in a very profound way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, perspective is one of those things that we're going to keep an eye on under a number of themes as we go forward in this series. We're really glad you're with us as we talk about the things we lose and the things we gain when trouble comes upon us. And we'll see you next week as we continue.
Look forward to it.